Sure.
We may not.
Right.
Don't know. They may come back also.
Okay.
Come back. I'll try to bring them.
Okay. No problem. No issues. ಆದಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡುವ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Okay.
Sure.
So it's live now. We'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayate Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Chaitanyam Ishwaram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarani Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot pranams.
Mataji.
Third and fourth sloka, I'll be reading Prabhuji.
Okay, okay, go ahead, Mataji.
Text 3. Tasmin sva ashrame vyaso badari sanda mandite asino apaupas tasya ranadidyo manasvayam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
In that place, Srila Vyasadeva in his own ashrama, it was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Purport, under the instruction of his Vishwas, Srila Narada Muni Vyasadeva concentrated his mind in that transcendental place of meditation.
Next 12 seconds.
So with the spiritual master, Srila Narada Muni,
together maybe we can discuss.
Vyasadeva concentrated his mind.
Yeah.
Text 4. Bhakti yogena mas samyak pramiteya male apasyat purusham purnam mayam chakat apashrayam. Translation. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. Purport.
Hare Krishna. I think Mataji got disconnected maybe. Hare Krishna.
Perfect. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, go ahead.
Perfect vision of the absolute truth is possible only by the linking process of devotional service. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. One can perfectly realize the absolute truth, personality of Godhead only by the process of devotional service. And one can enter into the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge. Imperfect realization of the absolute by the partial efforts of the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma does not permit anyone to enter into the kingdom of God. Sri Narada advised Srila Vyasadeva to become absorbed in transcendental meditation on the personality of Godhead and his activities. Srila Vyasadeva did not take notice of the effulgence of Brahman because that is not absolute vision. The absolute vision is the personality of Godhead as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. In the Upanishads also, it is confirmed that Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, is covered by the golden glowing Hiranmayena Patrena, veil of impersonal Brahman. And when the curtain is removed by the mercy of the Lord, the real face of the Absolute is seen. The Absolute is mentioned here as the Purusha or person. The Absolute personality of Godhead is mentioned in so many Vedic literatures, and in the Bhagavad Gita, the Purusha is confirmed as the eternal and original person. The Absolute personality of Godhead is the perfect person. The Supreme Person has manifold energies, out of which the internal, external, here is the external energy, as will be clear from the statement of her. The internal energy is there along the person as the moonlight is there with the moon. The external energy is compared to darkness because it keeps the appearance. The word suggests that this energy of energy is under full control. The internal superior energy is also called Maya, but it is spiritual. And one is shell of this internal.
Your internet may be very weak, Mataji. Voice is not coming properly.
Can you hear now, Prabhuji?
Where you
And-
stopped?
And deep door.
Okay, the internal potency or the superior energy is also called Maya, but it is spiritual Maya or energy exhibited in the absolute realm. When one is under the shelter of this internal potency, the darkness of material ignorance is at once dissipated. And when those who are Atma Rama are fixed in trance, take shelter of this Maya or internal energy, the devotional service or bhakti yoga is function of the internal energy. Thus, there is no place for the inferior energy or material energy. Just as
Yes, there is no place for darkness in the effulgence of spiritual light. Such internal energy is even superior to the spiritual bliss attainable in the conception of impersonal Brahman. Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
yeah, sometime in between getting disconnected.
Today only there's some problem, Prabhuji. It is
Okay.
stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the impersonal Brahman effulgence is also an emanation from the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The Parama Purusha cannot be anyone except Sri Krishna himself, as will be explained in the later slokas.
Okay.
So, what my little understanding is, according to the instructions of Narada Muni, Vyasdeva fixed his mind perfectly, engaging it by devotional service without any tinge of material thoughts. Srila Prabhupada explains that one can perfectly realize the absolute truth. That means Bhagwan realization, personality of Godhead, only by the process of devotional service. And also he can enter the kingdom of God by such perfect knowledge. Imperfect realization of the absolute by the impersonal Brahman, that means Brahma Jyoti, or localized Paramatma, that means worship for purpose of moksha, cannot take us to platform of absolute truth. So Narada Muni advised Srila Vyasadeva to become absorbed in transcendental meditation on the personality of Godhead and his activities. Vasudeva is covered by Hiranmayena Patrena, which is golden glowing light of impersonal Brahman, also called as Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is external energy of Lord Krishna's expansion, Vasudeva. The internal energy of the Lord Krishna can only be approached by the devotee through devotional service. There are two types of Maya, spiritual Maya and material Maya. Spiritual Maya is internal energy of the Lord Krishna, in the transcendental world. External Maya is the external energy and matter that we see around us with our material eyes. We can access spiritual Maya of Lord Krishna through devotional service. Srila Prabhupada will explain why Paramapurusha is Lord Sri Krishna in further slokas. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, further in the point, Srila Prabhupada brings out Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So, the point that we should understand Vasudeva is Sarva. And such person, Samahatma Sudurlabha. So, one who understands Krishna as a Supreme Personality Godhead, that kind of a person is Sudurlabha, very rare. That means understanding Krishna is not easy. That's the point Prabhupada brings out here. So we as follower of Srila Prabhupada, we are fortunate that we got this knowledge very beginning, so that we can worship Krishna so nicely. And in the end of the purport also, Srila Prabhupada concludes that such a personality, nobody other than Krishna. That's the point Prabhupada brings out. And also Prabhupada brings where there is no light, there is no darkness. Where there is Krishna, there is no ignorance. That's the point, So when we accept Krishna consciousness, our ignorance slowly dissipated because it removes all the ignorance and brings light in our heart, bring the knowledge. Prabhupada says that linking, that's a real yoga means something linking Atma to Paramatma, that's yoga. Not that what we do exercise like, the bodily exercise. That's not the real yoga. Real yoga is something linking Atma to Paramatma. So that's yoga we should do. Of course, what is required for the body, we can do, but the real yoga is that. Prabhupada also brings our devotional service. Bhakti yoga is the function of the internal energy. Thus, there is no place for inferior energy. There is no material energy in the Bhakti yoga. Bhakti cannot be mixed with anything. Bhakti mixed with anything is not pure Bhakti. That's why called pure devotional service. Karma or result. Or we want to offer something to the Lord, but we want in return. Like some people do some offering so that, but I should get something. Jnana also mixed with Bhakti because they do study, but in return they want to show off their jnana. All these are not pure Bhakti. Pure Bhakti is, Rupa Goswami says, Anya Abhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilana Bhakti Ruttam. He says that is the pure Bhakti. Anya Abhilashita. There is no Abhilasha. There is no desire. Anything other than Anya Abhilashita Shunya. Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. Jnana Karma also not there. And Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. You should be Anukula, that's the way Krishna wanted, and what Krishna wanted. That is Bhakti Uttama. That's the pure Bhakti talking about. So we should aspire to become that pure Bhaktas. Okay, we'll move on to the next sloka. 5.
Sumit Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Sumit Prabhu, are you there, no?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunaatmakam paropi manure anartham tatkratam chabhipadyate. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reaction of the material miseries. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada ki jai. The root cause of suffering by the materialistic living beings is pointed out with the remedial measures which are to be undertaken and also the ultimate perfection to be gained. All this is mentioned in this particular verse. The living being is by constitution transcendental to the material engagement, but he is now imprisoned by the external energy and therefore he thinks himself one of the material product. And due to this unholy contact, the pure spiritual entity suffers material miseries under the modes of material nature. The living entity misunderstands himself to be the material product. This means that the present perverted way of thinking, feeling, and willing under the material condition is not natural for him. But he has his normal way of thinking, feeling, and willing. The living being in his original state is not without thinking, willing, and feeling power. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the actual knower of the conditioned soul is now covered by nescience. Thus, the theory that a living being is absolute impersonal Brahman is refuted here. This cannot be because the living entity has his own way of thinking in his original unconditional state. The present conditional state is due to the influence of the external energy, which means that the illusionary energy takes the uh, initiative. Prabhu, can you scroll?
Yeah.
Takes the initiative while the Supreme Lord is aloof. The Lord does not desire that a living entity being illusioned by external energy. The external energy is aware of this fact, but still she accepts a thankless task of keeping the keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. The Lord does not interfere with the task of the illusionary energy because such performances of the soul, performances of the illusionary energy are also necessary for reformation of the conditioned soul. An affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent, yet he puts his disobedient children under the custody of a severe man just to bring them to order. But the all affectionate Almighty Father desired at the same time relief for the conditioned soul, relief from the clutches of the illusionary energy. The king puts the disobedient citizens within the walls of a jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoners' relief, personally goes there and plead for reformation, and on doing so, the prisoners are set free. Similarly, the Supreme Lord descends from his kingdom upon the kingdom of illusionary energy and personally gives relief in the form of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he personally suggests that the ways of illusionary energy are very stiff to overcome, but one who surrenders onto the lotus feet of the Lord is set free by the order of the Supreme. This surrendering process is the remedial measure for getting relief from the bewildering ways of illusionary energy. The surrendering process is completed by the influence of the association. The Lord has suggested, therefore, by the influence of the speeches of saintly persons who have actually realized the Supreme, men are engaged in his transcendental loving service. The conditional soul gets a taste of hearing about the Lord, and by such hearing only he is gradually elevated uh, to the platform of respect, devotion, and attachment for the Lord. The whole thing is completed by the surrendering process. Herein also the same suggestion is made by the Lord in his incarnation as Vyasadeva. This means that the conditioned souls are being reclaimed by the Lord both ways, namely by the process of punishment by the external energy of the Lord and by himself as the spiritual master within and without. Within the heart of every living being, the Lord himself as the super soul Paramatma becomes the spiritual master, and from without he becomes the spiritual master in the shape of scripture, saints, and initiator, spiritual master. This is still more explicitly explained in the next shloka. Personal superintendence of the illusionary energy is confirmed in the Vedas, the Kena Upanishad, in relation to the demigod controlling power. Herein, it is also clearly stated that the living entity is controlled by the external energy in the personal capacity. The living being, thus subject to the control of the external energy, is differently situated. It is clear, however, from the present statement of Bhagavatam that the same external energy is situated in the inferior position before the personality of Godhead or the perfect being. The perfect being or the Lord cannot be approached even by the illusionary energy, who can only work on the living entities. Therefore, it is sheer imagination that the Supreme Lord is illusioned by the illusory energy and thus becomes a living being. If the living being and the Lord would have been in the same category, then it would have been quite possible for Vyasadeva to see it, and there would have been no question of material distress on the part of the illusioned being, because the supreme being is fully cognizant. So there are so many unscrupulous imaginations on the part of the monist to endeavor to put both the Lord and the living being on the same category. Had it been so, then Srila Shukadev Goswami would not have taken the trouble to describe the transcendental pastime of the Lord if they were all manifestation of the illusory energy. Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum remedy for the suffering humanity in the clutches of Maya. Srila Vyasadeva therefore first of all diagnosed the actual disease of the conditioned soul, there being illusioned by the external energy. He also saw the perfect supreme being from whose illusional energy is far removed. Though he saw both the disease condition soul and also the cause of the disease, and the remedial measure are suggested in the next verse. Both the supreme personality of Godhead and the living beings are undoubtedly qualitatively one, but the Lord is the controller of the illusory energy, whereas the living entity is controlled by the illusory energy. Thus, the Lord and the living beings are simultaneously one and different. Another point is distinct herein that eternal relation between the Lord and the living being is transcendental. Otherwise, the Lord would not have taken the trouble to reclaim the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In the same way, the living entity is also required to revive his natural love and affection for the Lord, and that is the highest perfection of the living entity. Srimad Bhagavatam treats the conditioned soul with the aim to that goal of life.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes,
So
Prabhu.
here, description is giving like how the living entity is conditioned by the Maya. So as Lord says, Devi Esha Gunmayi Mama Maya Duratya Mameva Prapadyante Maya Etam Tarantite. So here the living being by his constitutional position is transcendental to all this material engagement. But when due to his desire to lord it over the material universe or to enjoy separate from the Lord, he fall into this material world, and then the three modes of material nature acts on him, and because of that he become conditioned, and all this transcendental knowledge is lost, and he becomes he thinks himself to be the material product. So because of this, the ignorance comes, and his thinking, feeling, and willing changes. So because the knowledge is covered by the nescience here. So Lord also actually does not want that the living being to be illusioned by the external energy, but as the example is given, like a, a father does not like his children to be chastised by another agent, but for their welfare only, he put them under uh, custody of some very strict person so that they can be bring to the order. So like Maya is also like such thing, like Maya is doing a thankless job actually, and it is uh, like it it also does a task of filtering who is very serious about the spiritual life and who is not serious. So somebody is just maybe pretending to be, or he's not that serious, he will give up by the temptations given by Maya, and that's the kind of filtering Maya does, like who is very serious, and whoever is having a like very pure devotion for the Lord, then he will not get into that temptation. And as Lord says in this verse, like whoever is who surrendered to him, and for them it is very easy to like cross over this Maya. And further uh, it is for Yoga Maya also it has been written like the spiritual Maya, that is Yoga Maya, and this um, um, illusory energy is the Mahamaya. And Lord does not is affected by this Mahamaya, by the Maya. Actually, the Maya is under the control of the Lord, and it works under the like whatever supervision of the Lord, you can say. And Lord and the living being, their relationship is eternal. So otherwise, Lord would not have taken that much trouble to reclaim the conditioned soul. So because the relation is eternal, so that's why Lord is always very concerned about all the living entities and how to reclaim them from the material world. So yeah, so it is the responsibility of the living entity also to revive his natural love and affection for the Lord, and that is the highest perfection of the living entity. Yes, Prabhu.
So there is the external energy, internal energy, and marginal energy. So external energy is Maya, internal energy is Yoga Maya or directly connected to Krishna, and marginal energy is Jiva. So we living entities are marginal energy. It's like one example given is that suppose you are in the bank of a river, you have option to get into the water or you have option to come back. So we are like a marginal energy. We are inside the Maya's clutches now, but we have every option to go back to it because it's our free will. Like Sumit Prabhu said, it's our freedom, our free will to go back to him. And Krishna is always desiring or is always eagerly waiting to receive us. His only thing is we need to have that little desire and the work for it. That's what required. So Prabhupada, he has written a wonderful purport here, very lengthy purport, explaining first and foremost what is Maya, why are we should be scared of Maya. Prabhupada many times says, my disciples are not really scared, sufficiently not scared of Maya, says, sufficiently, because Maya is not ordinary, is Krishna's direct energy. Devi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durataya says, like Smith Prabhu explained now. So, unless we surrender to Krishna, Maya will definitely control us. But when we surrender to Krishna, Maya will leave. Just to give a very, very crude example, Prabhupada also brings out here, very crude example, there is a householder and they have a child. They appointed a maid to take care of the child. So the father or mother would have told the maid, do not allow the child to go out of the house or gate because there's a danger. So even if the child desires to go out, maid will not allow. And if the child does something wrong, maid may punish also. Because even though father doesn't want his own child to be punished by somebody else, but father may allow to be punished because he want to reform or he want to good for the child. The same way, the Krishna doesn't want us to be punished by Maya, but we have a strong desire to be here. So he has employed Maya. That's why Prabhupada says Maya does a thankless job, because we are also not happy and Krishna also not happy, because Krishna also doesn't want Maya to be, punishing a jiva. So, but Maya's duty is that. So example given like jail. So the sinful person is put into the jail to reformation. So after the reform, after they finish their punishment, once the reformation done, they come back. Similarly, this material world is considered as a jail. And once we purify ourselves, reform ourselves, we can go back to Krishna. So Maya does the filtering portion. Maya will not allow a contaminated person to go back to Krishna. All the impurities will be removed. Only the pure soul will be allowed to go back. So, and the purport Srila Prabhupada brings out, only Bhakti Yoga can help us to purify that. So, whenever we take on a Bhakti Yoga, even Maya will not, allow us to, Maya will not even interfere in that. So, that's why Bhakti Yoga is given much importance here. So, few points Prabhupada also brings out here. So our relationship, Prabhu has. And also Prabhupada brings out the qualitative one, but quantitatively different. We have all the qualities of Krishna, but not in quantity. We have minute quantity. Krishna is unlimited quantity, but the qualities are there. Like, for example, the ocean water. Even if you take a small drop from the ocean, it has got all the qualities, salt, whatever it is, but not quantity. Similarly, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have all the qualities of Krishna, but not in quantity. Like example given, the human being may have a beauty, or may have a strength, may have renunciation, may have a knowledge, may have wealth, but very, very minute quantity. Krishna got unlimited, everything is full. So that's understanding. So that's the reason whatever Krishna has got, we also got. Urdhamula Madoshakam. Whatever their spiritual world, it is a reflection here. But ours is a temporary and it's a reflection only. It's not a permanent. And this cannot be enjoyed. If you really want to enjoy, we have to go back to the real. If somebody wants real happiness, we have to go to spiritual world, not in the material world. Material world is dukkha shashvatam. Here we get only dukkha because Maya job is to punish. So that's why this place is full of miseries. So also Prabhupada brings out, he says, the relation between Lord and Jiva is transcendental. So, but Jiva thinks that I'm doer. Krishna says in chapter 327, verse, he says, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartha iti manyate. The activities are done under the three modes of nature, under Prakriti. And whereas Jiva, Ankara Murata, with out of Ahankara, the Vimudha, the Murkha, Jiva thinks that I am the doer. That's the problem. I think that I'm the controller, I'm the doer. It's because of me, everything happening. I done this, I done this. But this is Ahankara. Krishna says, nothing happens in my control, nothing happens in my power. That's why the simple, very solution is that simply surrender to Krishna. Prayer, simple prayer to the Krishna. Krishna, please protect me. Please engage me in your service. Please do not allow me to commit any offenses. These are the simple prayers daily. And with that prayer, please allow me to chant your names sincerely, attentively. This is what, as a devotee practice, devotees can pray. This prayer will help, to our own progress. When we chant nicely, when you read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita very regularly, Prabhupada says, scrutinizingly study my books. Says we have to study means we have to get into the words. Each and every word, we have to understand why Prabhupada is saying this. Again, Prabhupada's purport, if you see the beginning, he will make a bold statement. And in the whole passage, he'll explain the pros and cons. Ultimate natural love of Krishna Prema should get. Bhagavatam helps us. So that Bhagavatam revives our the bad consciousness to the real consciousness. That's why reading Bhagavatam helps. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. In Bhagavatam also there's a question asked, when the Krishna departed from this material world, where Dharma surrenders? The sages replies by saying that Dharma surrendered to Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam got all the potencies. We are all trying to read Bhagavatam. It's really wonderful. So I'm requesting all to read more as much as possible. Okay, I'll stop here now. Devotees can share their thoughts or comments, questions, if any. Yes. Any comments? Yes, bro.
So one point I observed in today's purports, like if we want to go back to the Godhead, only possible way is the bhakti, the devotional service.
Yes.
So other paths, they will lead to maybe Brahman or the higher planets. But if Vaikuntha, if you want to go and serve the Lord, only possible way is doing bhakti. So that is we have to keep in mind.
Yes, true. Samapti, welcome back. Wherever you are these days. Are you able to hear us?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, Prabhu, I came to my native. Actually, I left job and I'm doing masters. That's why I came to my native. Today itself, Mataji told me to join the Bhagavatam class. Actually, I didn't know that you are taking classes. This time I'm free. That's all.
Okay. So you are not coming back to Bangalore?
No, I will come. During the exam time, like November to December, that time.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you. So any other?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, others, any comments? Maybe we'll go with the Varsha Mataji first. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hare
Comment.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the class. So today I understood that the person who understands Krishna is very rare. We should that person we should service nicely, and then pure bhakti has no desires. And you had given us a good shloka to understand that even we should not show off the knowledge or whatever it is. It is just it should just be a pure bhakti. And then we understood about this external, internal, and marginal maya. So external is
Energies.
energies, yeah. So external energy is nothing but Maya, internal is Jiva Maya, which is God, and marginal energy is us, Jiva. And we should have the desire to go back to the internal energy. So you had explained us with a very nice example, Prabhuji. And we all should be scared of Maya because, as you said, that the caretaker also can punish us. So that caretaker being the Maya can punish us so that we can be purified, and we should be thankful to Maya because all of us will be purified, and with the bhakti yoga all this Maya effect will be reduced, and we can go back to Godhead. And next you explained us that we all have that quality of what Krishna is having, but the quantity is very less. So yeah, that's what thank you.
Shridev Mataji, any other points to share? Your voice is breaking, Mataji. Not able to hear. Okay, no problem. Mariappan Prabhu.
There are two types of maya.
I think voice is breaking continuously. Not clear. Mariappan Prabhu, anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sometimes it's threatening like it's threatening like
What?
and be cautious in spiritual this thing. One should not take it for careless way of bhakti. One should be, I must be very sincere. I must be very sincere, and I must be very true, very, 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 very true in my love and affection towards God. I all my this thing will be tolerated, but not my indifference, not my indifference. So the Maya will filter me out, and unless I progress with my true and committed the nature of this thing, especially it is, the focus is again and again on chanting. I think if I focus on chanting, why you are saying again and again focus on chanting with all this thing like a child to draw the attention of mother. The example is given. Similarly, I must draw the attention of Lord by my committed and focused chanting. That much I have understood, Prabhuji.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare
Ramesh
Krishna.
Prabhu, you want to say anything?
No problem. Please continue.
Okay. Meena Mataji, any comments, questions?
Questions, yes, Prabhuji. I think with the most humble,
Yeah.
I'm a very, I can say just a toddler or just born in this Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita.
We are all like that only, don't worry.
Prabhuji, the question is, so you were saying that Maya. So in that regard, when I see the reality, like if watching cricket is a Maya, watching a movie is a Maya, Instagram is Maya, Facebook is Maya. So we all are surrounded by Maya, from morning till evening. So how about you, Prabhuji? Like, you don't watch, just asking, you don't watch cricket, you don't watch a movie, you don't go for a mall. So how could you come back? And really, I cannot come out of all this Maya, Prabhuji.
I'm also not free from Maya. Don't think that Maybe certain things I'll not reveal to the truth, but I'm also influenced by Maya. So Maya is so strong, don't worry. So that's why Prabhupada says, my disciples are not sufficiently scared of Maya. Prabhupada says that. So yeah, we all should be scared of Maya. So because purpose of Maya is to purify us. We need to understand that. The purpose of the Maya is, that's why Prabhupada says thankless job. Maya's job is thankless because we also don't want, Krishna also doesn't want. No father wants a child to be suffer.
Okay.
So that's why, but the Maya has to do the duty. Like jailer has to, or they have to punish because even the criminal doesn't want the be punished. Government also doesn't want to be punished because they want good citizens. But jailer has to punish because as a criminal. So that's why. So the point is that all of us in the same boat. But the point is that if you take up chanting and devotional service seriously, all things, because Krishna clearly says, one who surrendered to me, I will take care of Maya. Maya cannot touch you. So that's a solution. So sincerely take up the chanting. All other problems slowly and gradually will be resolved.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Pradeep Prabhu, anything you want to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
The only thing I could grasp, which was quite, something which I could grasp very immediately was aham. The lesser the aham, the better it is. The more I say I think I will only increase my misery because in such a big universe, I'm not even the size of an ant actually. And I can be so easily stamped over by anybody. So ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅಹಂ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದವರೆಗೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು. ಅದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇರ್ all our ancient dharma, our society, the one which we come from, that teaches us how to detach from aham. I think praying to the God is one way of realizing that there's something much more than me. Logically, my respect for myself, for people around me goes up, and I become a little bit more closer to God. I think this is what I could grasp from Yuvatin session in that movie.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Asha Mataji, anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Vasudeva is Sarvam, and one who understands that
Sa
Krishna.
Mahatma Sudurlabha. That's the most important.
One who understands that Krishna is the personality of Godhead is very rare, and we are all like I am completely immersed in ignorance. In order to get away from this ignorance, Bhakti Yoga is the best method. Bhakti cannot be mixed with anything else, and we are under this illusions Maya, and it is our freedom that I can get out of Maya, and it is possible through devotional service to the Supreme. And what I understood is real happiness is nothing but to go back to Godhead. That is, going back to Godhead is possible with devotional service and by chanting.
Thank you, Mataji. Archana Mataji. Anything to add? Sumit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. I just now joined.
No problem, no problem.
Sorry, I just got delayed today.
Sumit Prabhu, did we miss anything?
No, Prabhu, I think we covered all the points, very nicely explained all the points.
Okay, so we'll stop here then. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhu bevacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namanam ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. See you tomorrow, same time.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.